Hey, my name is Brian Ricks, and in this short tutorial, I'll walk you through how I labeled and styled the form elements for assignment 4. I'll cover both the HTML structure and the CSS styling that helped me do so. All right, so first thing I'll show you guys, we have Visual Studio Code open here, and we'll look at our HTML file first. So here it is. We're using a basic form wrapped in a table for layout. Now within this, each form element, like first name, last name, email, etc., is placed inside table rows using the TR and the TD attributes, okay? So the TR being the table row and the TD being the table data. After that, what we've done is we've used input tags for text, email, and number fields. Those are what will be required in our document. So how we made those required is we use the required attribute. You'll see it right here. Required name, required. What this does is this signals that these must be filled out by the visitor in order to proceed with the rest of the document. It's a really cool thing to do. It ensures that you get the data that you need. All right. So preferred working environment uses checkboxes, allowing multiple selections. That's what you see right here. We were able to do the checkboxes there so they could select multiple options. Now if we move forward to work authorization in the United States, what we did here is we used something called radio buttons. Radio buttons are cool, and what we can do is we can set them to where they can only select one choice, meaning this is a yes or no question essentially, they can only select one. For education, I used a select drop down. So that select attribute allows us to build a drop down menu with several options. This is good for multiple choice questions, multiple choice questions, yeah. Things like this where we're saying, hey, what's your highest level of education? Was it high school, some college, master's, your doctorate, or other? So this allows whoever's taking it to select from what best applies to them. Finally, I included a text area here at the bottom. And the reason we did that is just to leave space for our visitors to leave a short bio if they'd like to. We did not make this required, but just an option if they'd like to. And then lastly, we just put a submit button. And this is what obviously finishes it off for the visitors. All right. So we focused just a little bit more on that required field indicator on their end. We added a red asterisk next to the label using a span tag with a class MAN. Okay, you see that right here on line 25. One more thing we want to show you is the CSS styling and how we did that. I applied styles to make the form visually appealing and most importantly centered on the stage. We don't want it floating on the right, floating on the left. We wanted it to be right in the middle of the page. Form selector sets the background to wheat colored. We added padding, border, rounded corners, and a shadow. This is all optional. This is all things that, they're all personable. You can edit them to however you would like, whatever works best for you. The table inside aligns all the labels to the left and stretches input fields to full width using this rule right here. So the width being 100% there is what stretches it fully and makes it look good. All right, so text areas are also made full width and taller using the following: 100% width, 100 on the height there. And then finally, the period MAN class changes the asterisk color to red. Just a good visual for people so they can see and know that they have to do it. All right, so that's kind of how we set it up. And what I'll do now is I'll show you the end result. I apologize for being a little choppy with those instructions, but hopefully you got a good gist of what we're doing. So let me switch to the final view so you can see what we're searching for. All right, so I'll pull this over here. As you see, Here's what our final form looks like in the browser. Notice the red asterisks for required fields, the clean layout, and how inputs are nicely spaced and aligned. And it's just a very visually appealing and effective file. All right, well, that wraps up my tutorial. I hope you learned something today. I apologize for the choppiness at times, but I hope that you were able to glean some information from it and you come away a little more confident in how to structure forms in HTML and style them using CSS. Thanks for watching.